You know, there's a lot of bad in the world, a lot of divisiveness. It's easy to get wrapped up in it. But no matter how our world changes, no matter how much we grow, we find that we can always count on one aspect of our lives to stay the same. If you were to ask me who I live with for the majority of the last half-decade, my answer would be no one. Yet, I've never considered myself truly alone. See, Benny and I have been a family for over 8 years at this point. There's been a rotating cast of characters, from family and friends to exes, many exes. But the time they spend in my life is fleeting, and the strength of our connection often wanes with time. With Benny, the strength of our connection never seems to fade. When I make it home from a long day at work, tired, cranky, stressed, perhaps one more follicle closer to complete baldness, I'm greeted with the same joyful bark, the same devilish doggy grin, the same pitter-patter of padded paws, in a chaotic, ever-changing world. Perhaps better than anyone else, it's our furry family that can grab us, hold on tight, and keep us grounded. Somehow, they always greet us with the same joy, positively infect us with the same affection, and they always manage to do it no matter what else is happening around us. There's something to be said for that kind of commitment to contentment. A little over a decade ago, another ball of tough, fluffed-up puff named Dulce came into my life, came into my sister's life, my mom's, my dad's, my family's. Dulce was a treasure. She was proud, carrying herself high wherever she went. It was like she knew not only that she was treated like a princess, but it was like she knew she was one too. Dogs tend to have tons of little quirks, as do we all. Dulce was certainly no different. Despite being the pampered Pomeranian princess of Puff, Dulceria carried the heart of a fierce huntress, a warrior. Woe be to any man that dared step into our home. A series of short, high-pitched, disapproving barks and groans would certainly shower them with shame and fill their hearts with terror. For whatever reason, outside of family, Dulce hated men. Perhaps she knew that she would have to compete for my sister's attention. What would a princess be without her loyal attendant? So she barked, she leapt up on her hind legs, planted her front paws on the surely terrified potential suitor's legs, looked upon them with eyes that stated in no uncertain terms that she was one pernicious palm that was not to be trifled with. Eventually, Dulce came to stay primarily with my dad, who had a veritable litter of mutts and mongrels. Large, powerful, and just as gentle was the Roddy Truffles, as sweet as their name implied. Barrel-chested, squat, wide-eyed, and playful was the bulldog Logan, as wild and yet kind as the Marvel hero that was his namesake. Elegant, energetic, and yet tender was the boxer Sophie, a dog who, despite her seemingly carefree demeanor, battled seizures with the bravery of a hardened soldier. Dulce would bring her tenacity, talents, and positively charming personality with her to South Beach or to Vegas, depending on which one my dad happened to be living at the time. Along with Gwen, the nutty Jack Russell pug mix, the fearsome fivesome would fit like a glove around the hand of this family. And they can teach you a lot of things in school, but one thing that can't be taught is how to deal with loss. Another is knowing how and when to say goodbye to the ones we love. And that's what brings me here. Perhaps the cruelest promise is the promise of time. It promises to keep moving no matter what. When you get caught up in the daily grind of life, you tend not to even notice. SSDD. Same stuff, different day. Work, home, sleep, repeat. You don't notice until the doctor sits you down and tells you that that time is running out. You can bargain, you can deny, you can fight and wail and pray. You can wish and hope, but each day continues to tick away. The calendar keeps counting down, forcing you to acknowledge, forcing you to accept that this is simply the way things are going to be. Your loved one is sick. Your family is dying. Your best friend, your rock, one of the foundations you rely on is going to leave you. We lost Truffles, Logan, and Sophie many years ago, each one to a terrible disease for which there was no cure. All we had was time. Time to laugh, time to hug, time to run and play and try to live each day like it was their last, because we never knew if it was. We never knew on which day the cancer would move the wrong way, to the wrong part of the body, and take the smile away from their faces. Recently, on October 22nd, 2018, after surviving for 3 months longer than any vet predicted, Dulce finally had to give up her fight against bladder cancer. She had to leave us all behind, and we had to say goodbye. As much as it hurt to let her go, we know that we gave her a wonderful life, and we know that we have to go on. Even now, Gwen is still wilding out with the next generation of her furry fraternity. Just as we showered all of our boys and girls with love, so too do we love Callie, rescued from the kill shelter 1 day before it was too late. So too do we love Iris, now nursed back to health, and always equipped with a permanent smile, grateful for the second lease on life she has. So too is Eddie, truly happy, and maybe even a gentler giant than Truffles. He, perhaps more so than any of them, carries on her legacy of being the biggest pushover on the block. I made this video, in large part because it's so hard to say goodbye, and my dad has had to do it every time. I wanted to make this video to remind him that though they're not next to us, they'll always be with us, and they'll always remember what you did for them. I wanted to remind all of you to give your loved ones, whether they're on 2 legs or 4, the biggest hug and the warmest smile you can. Cherish the time you have, because you never know when you'll be fighting your hardest to earn some of it back. I wanted to leave one more gift. A small slice of life that no one knows I recorded years before either of them passed away. Years before either was even sick. I mentioned before that dogs have quirks. One of the most special quirks that I remember most fondly was Logan and Dulce's fondness for staying by my side. Dulce, Logan boy, Truffles, Sophie girl, thank you so much for always following me. Thank you for the love, and thank you for the memories.